Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is said to have many different twists and turns, as well as saga-wide implications that'll change our entire perception on the originals, the prequels, and even most of the sequel trilogy. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about Episode 9 that a lot of people are really looking forward to is, of course, exactly how J.J. Abrams is going to utilize some of the legacy characters as well as some of the sequel trilogy-based characters that we have all been used to since The Force Awakens that will have a conclusion in Episode 9. Now, the great thing about all of this is that we do know that there are going to be a lot of reveals in this movie that's going to change our vision of course, both The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting and intriguing. Now, specifically, a description of Kylo Ren viewing a hologram of Supreme Leader Snoke inside of an abandoned First Order base, where it's described that the Snoke hologram is revealing vital information to Kylo, indirectly, where the message begins to explain that Snoke had once mentally connected with the Sith Lord, known as Darth Sidious, and that since then, Snoke has been trying to track down this energy, as he thought Palpatine was dead. The hologram goes on to explain that he mentally connected with Palpatine from a region in the galaxy that was said to be unreachable, and it's explained that this is what gave Snoke the drive to explore what is called the Beyond. Additionally, it's described that the Snoke hologram goes on to reveal to Kylo that during his mental connection with the Sith Lord, it was made perfectly clear that Palpatine is still alive somewhere in the galaxy. So, I want to go over a couple of parts about all of this. Now, the one thing that we do know is going to be a very prominent and significant piece in this movie is, of course, the return of Emperor Palpatine. Now, J.J. Abrams, prior to when the teaser trailer was even released at Celebration, he was hinting at the greatest evil being the new threat in Episode 9, not just for our heroes, but also for, of course, the villain of Kylo Ren, going up against this new evil that's going to make him feel vulnerable throughout this movie. So, the thing about this, the reason as to why this changes how we view the character of Snoke, is that, well, to this day, if you guys go ahead and look at The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and even read the novelization of The Force Awakens, Snoke never really confirms the Emperor in great detail. He may have hinted him here and there, but he never really talks about him in great depth. And this is most certainly a moment in which we do get to learn in Episode 9 that both Snoke and Palpatine had once mentally connected, and that's exactly what actually gave Snoke the drive in order to explore the Beyond. Now, in case you guys did not know, the Beyond is a place in the galaxy, either a region or perhaps a different realm that's based within the galaxy for all we know. It could be a different dimension, we're not quite sure. But nonetheless, the Beyond is going to be a very important location in Episode 9, and that Palpatine had once traveled there as well as Supreme Leader Snoke. But the reason as to why Snoke decided to go there was all because of this mental connection with, of course, Sidious. Now, Sidious is the one that lured Snoke to the Beyond, and a lot of people have been thinking for the longest time, what if Snoke was actually Palpatine all along? And that maybe, the reason as to why Palpatine was able to lure Snoke to the Beyond is because the spirit of Sidious would take over Snoke's body. Now, we do know that the spirit of Sidious is going to be used in this movie in some way, shape, or form, and is going to be affiliated with the Acolyte, of course, of the Beyond, the Dark Acolyte that will be portrayed, most likely, by Matt Smith in this movie. So, the thing that I like about all these different connections that J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio are making between the legacy characters, the sequel trilogy characters, and more, is to really make this movie feel interconnected, right? I think it's a very clever move by JJ in order to really look at these characters in a different light when you're watching both The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. So, I want to go over this First Order base that has been abandoned for decades. Now, this is where Kylo Ren discovers, the hologram of Supreme Leader Snoke, revealing, everything there is about Darth Sidious. We're not quite sure how old this hologram is, but nonetheless, it's well before Snoke was even the Supreme Leader of the First Order, and before the First Order was really a thing. This most likely was recorded during the infancy of the First Order, and for the longest time, a lot of people have always been wondering as to exactly how Snoke really was able to rise this new empire, right? Rise this new order or organization, if you will, that rules the galaxy. So that's what I'm saying, is that a lot of people are starting to believe that both Snoke and Palpatine are somehow one and the same. I, however, still think that they are two different people, but nonetheless, guys, this mental connection between both Snoke and Palpatine is rather intriguing to me because it really does change the game when it comes to Force users and exactly who can connect with who, basically in the Star Wars universe. So with that being said, Snoke is a character I really wish he was more explored in The Last Jedi in greater depth. Thankfully, he will be to a certain extent in Episode 9. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.